We are group number 8 and we are going to talk about the art, economy, and everyday activities in the Anglo-Saxon period. So, the vast majority of Anglo-Saxons made their living from farming. They grew peas, cabbages, parsnips, carrots, and celery. They also ate fruit, such as apples, blackberries, and raspberries. They raised herds of goats, cattle, pigs, and flocks of sheep. However, the farmers could not grow enough food to keep many of their animals through the winter, so as winter approached, most of them had to be slaughtered, and the meat salted. Some Anglo-Saxons were craftsmen. They made things like combs from bone and adults or horn. There were many leather workers and Anglo-Saxon craftsmen that they made elaborate jewelry from the rich. They also fished and went hunting with other men from the village.
Village economy. Many of the villagers developed a skill in crafts. Those who managed to produce a little extra were able to barter for goods, a form of exchange. This was called the exchange economy. In Anglo-Saxon times, more goods were sold through bartering than through the exchange of coins. Also, it was agricultural economy where families produced just enough to keep the family going. This was called a subsistence economy. Farmers used oxen to plough their fields. They planted crops like wheat, oats, and barley, and also raised animals like pigs and sheep for food. Anglo-Saxon boys were kept busy helping their families and working around the farm. They looked after animals and would collect firewood from nearby forests. Anglo-Saxon girls did lots of jobs around the home and farm. They looked after animals, helped with cooking and cleaning, and would fetch water from nearby stream. Anglo-Saxon women spun wool from sheep and goats to make thread. They will use a loom to weave the thread into cloth. Anglo-Saxon men were good hunters. Some used trained hawks to catch ducks, pigeons, and other wild birds. They also used dogs to track deer and wild boar. They had to keep an eye out for wolves, which still lived in Britain at the time.
Urban economy. The Anglo-Saxons were great craft workers. They made intricate jewelry, musical instruments, and homemade toys and games. Their bourse operated using an exchange economy. They held weekly markets where craft people set up alongside visiting traders. Markets in town often sold things not available in the smaller shires, such as weapons, jewelry, and leather items. Some trade in luxury items such as wine from France, pepper and spices from Asia and the Middle East, and silk and gems from Italy and Spain, Coptic gold from Turkey, and amber beads from the Baltics. Most of the Anglo-Saxons bartered for what they needed and very rarely exchanged coin. It was only at market where they would earn coin to spend on cattle or machinery. Only the nobles and elite of Anglo-Saxon society used money to buy military equipment and luxury goods to display their wealth and power. The coins used were silver pennies, the raw material of which was imported from Germany. The king controlled the mint of the coin, making it law to only be made in towns with a mint and overseen by a royal official. In 1066 it was estimated there were 9 million silver pennies. Sheep cost 5 silver pennies, a pig cost 10, and an ox cost 13 silver pennies. Most of the larger towns like York and London had their own resident specialist improvement shops such as silversmiths, weapons, brothers' workshops. Coast and river towns became important ports for international trading, where evidence of importing glass, wine, gems, prices in precious metal, and exporting cheese, wool, iron, and cloth. The smaller towns near coasts and rivers tended to be both farmers and fishermen, providing fish for the older towns.
Our conclusions are: life on an Anglo-Saxon farm was hard work. All the family had to help out: men, women, and children. Men cut down trees to clear land for plugging and to sow crops. Farmers used oxen to pull plugs up and down long straight fields. Children with dogs herded cattle and sheep. The Anglo-Saxons were great craftsmen too. Metal workers made iron tools, knives, and swords. The Anglo-Saxons were skilled jewelers who made beautiful brooches, beads, and ornaments from gold, gemstones, and glasses. The Anglo-Saxons had armies, but their soldiers didn't fight all the time. After a battle, they went home as soon as they could and looked after their animals and crops. Most of the Anglo-Saxons bartered for what they needed and very rarely exchanged coin. It was only at market where they would earn coin to spend on cattle or machinery. On the nobles and elite of Anglo-Saxon society used money to buy military equipment and luxury goods to display